Welcome to this 38th session of our BSent online training. The topic of this 38th session is now the 15th and also second last discipleship training lesson. Here it's about the character of a disciple, and today we're going to be speaking about serving, about having a servant heart. This 15th training lesson we can now do again as a whole group. So after the 14th and 13th lesson were very personal, here in this session it's about something we can do as a whole group. Also in this training lesson, we want to take the structure that we have on our discipleship card. The first is that questions about the personal well-being, and then the questions about accountability. And then in the second part, where we come to the point where we're just pulling out of the open Bible, where we're getting teaching out of these core texts, and having our disciple do this by himself, just learning out of the Bible and just understanding out of the Word what it's saying according to this topic, what it's saying about this topic. And the core text is Matthew 20:25 to 28. Jesus called them together and said, "You know that the rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and their high officials exercise authority over them. Not so with you. Instead, whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant, and whoever wants to be first must be your slave. Just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many." Or then also this passage, 1 Peter 4:10, "Each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms." And then Ephesians 6:6-7, "Obey them not only to win their favor when their eye is on you, but as slaves of Christ, doing the will of God from your heart. Serve wholeheartedly as if you were serving the Lord, not people." So far, these three core texts, now these learning points that our disciples should figure out. A first learning point would be that in this world there is a will to rule, but in the kingdom of God there should be a will to serve. And also in the kingdom of God, Jesus turns the values upside down. It's no longer about success and career, but it's all about serving, about going low and serving others. And a disciple of Jesus should be recognized by his service to others. In the kingdom of God, serving and ruling is the same thing. Again, this is a very, very central point. In the kingdom of God, serving and ruling is the same thing. It says in the Bible that in all eternity we will serve God, but also in all eternity we will rule together with God. So serving and ruling is the same thing in the kingdom of God. Jesus, he is our big role model in the area of serving. And another point is that the kingdom of God is built by serving, and like all sincere service is done for God. We're serving, so yeah, we're serving because of God. The memory verse would be Matthew 20:26-27. "Whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant, and whoever wants to be first must be your slave." Now the third part, the application in the training room, the demonstrating and practicing in the training room. Here, we as disciple makers, we want to tell about our experiences. We want to show like how we in our spiritual lives, how we serve God and others, how we do this specifically or concretely. And we could also demonstrate it with an example. For example, right then you could wash your disciples' feet. The washing of feet, that's like a very practical expression of servanthood or of serving. And Jesus did this himself towards his disciples. So it'd be a good demonstration to show our attitude of serving. The disciples, they should also divide themselves up into groups, and with a very specific example, they should also serve each other. They should also do something where they can serve the other disciple very practically. And now the fourth part of the discipleship training lesson, the serving out in the field in everyday life, in the real world. Here we can keep on practicing this. When we're together with our disciples, we can always keep our eyes, the eyes of our heart and our natural eyes, if we keep them open, and we can keep them open and see very practically where we can serve someone. So that we just, go through the world with open eyes, and that it becomes a lifestyle, that we don't just go out once, but again and again when we're together with our disciples, that we look and see where we can serve. And our disciples, they should also do the same. They should also have open eyes, and we want to encourage them that when they have a possibility to serve someone, that they go and serve that person. Spiritually and practically. Now also with this training lesson, with leading our disciples into servanthood, it's a whole process. It's a spiritual life process, and this won't stop. So this lesson is not something you can do just once, but again and again when we're together with our disciples, it should be a topic, something that we practice, however the Lord gives it. Also here, the second part, the application part, is exactly the same. We want to summarize everything that we've learned today, and the others, they can add to that summary. We'll discuss it, we'll write down our insights, and we'll also set a goal for the coming time, how we want to put it into practice in our outreach, and then we'll present our results. Then in the outreach itself, we'll also keep the same structure. We still have these three different parts. One part we want to pray, another part we want to go, and in the third part we really want to take this training lesson and practice it with our disciples and put it into practice until they become disciples of Christ that have a lifestyle of serving. Also here on this point, it's about doing it and not just hearing it. That we put into practice and don't just know it. If it just stays with knowing it and doesn't become a doing, then this lesson will stay fruitless. But if we put it into practice, then it will be a blessing for many.